Alright, let's see if I can sneak in a day or two here. Right, so we dealt with the Horde from Bay 29 last night. I think I went crazy shooting stuff with the Magnum. Is that better than the other old barrel? Barely, okay. That's why we had waited to throw that in there until we had the opportunity to repair it, because we didn't have repair stuff with us, if I recall. And we have potato seeds. How interesting. We have 2 potato seeds, but apparently I never bothered to plant. I should probably fix that. And we have mini bike, woohoo. Yes, it's been a bit since I recorded. Uploading the videos takes forever. Sorry. Health is fine. Don't need that many first aid kits. Not concerned about coffee at the moment. $29 points available. I wonder if repairing walls actually gives you any construction tool XP, so we are basically directly above the queue, right? Because repairing, like, a gun, actual gun, gives you some gunsmithing skill at least. The foragers are still off, cool. Definitely took a beating over here. Though, of course, had that been destroyed, they still would have had to go through... Well, basically, that doesn't even matter as a way of getting into the base, right? Since the corner blocks do nothing in that regard, they still have to destroy 2 other non-corner blocks that are vertical. Or maybe the crawlers can get through, like, the 1 block, and other dogs can get through 1 block. And presumably if the crawlers can get through 1 block, then anything that has the legs destroyed can get through the 1 block. But I don't really know. I've never actually tested that part. Alright, and we are... It did actually give us some XP, it looks like. Woohoo! had no knowledge of. Well, actually, that... is that going to wind up being a desert or not? We do have sand down there. That's near the main city, right? The main city's over there. Well, we should get back to work in earnest. Do I really need more glass? I don't think so. I'll go iron for now. Steel materials and concrete materials, that'll work. We have some wood left over. Stockpiled a decent chunk of steel. Always nice. Let's go exploring a bit today. I have no idea what I promised last time. So if I'm violating the covenant I made, then I apologize. Everything else looks to seem okay. We don't have that many steel arrows, but I think we're hoping to actually get a crossbow semi-soon, right? Well, maybe. Here is our mini-bike stuff. Why are you going up above my head? That might be bad. What the hell? Let's try that again with the mini-bike on the ground, shall we? Realize things like having a mini-bike on the actual ground might just seem like pure madness to some of you, so I apologize if that is disturbing to you in any way. Looks like this corn might be done. Yes. I'm going to try and experiment and see if the top row regrows. I've been told it does. I think I tried it once and it didn't seem to happen, though it's possible something else went wrong. So we'll give it a second chance, and somebody was insisting very recently they did. We'll use science. Pretty sure we did everything in the town. And there's our little tunnel entrance. If we find something else worth tunneling toward, we may take advantage of that. You have a knife guy, right? Let's try something. This may be too much. Nope, that's okay. We do 2 entity damage, holy cow. In theory, this should give us credit for 1,000 worth when we actually destroy it with. Look at that, blade weapons level 12. Apparently I need food and water and never actually refilled those. Whoops. I should make sure I check at the start each time, just to be on the safe side. How is that missing? I don't know. We'll see if we spot any more wildlife on our way back. In theory, we could, you know, like, literally run them over if we really wanted to, but that does damage the bike, and I'm not sure it's worth doing. Pop a wheelie! Get out! Oh, come on, really? I suppose I need to put out some basic spikes there, don't I? I do have some made. I think I have like 4 different games going on right now for 7 Days to Die, or maybe even more. Makes it very confusing at times to try to remember which game has what. Now, if you weren't as armed as well, if you weren't as well armed, or armed as well, I guess either works, as we are right now, and armored and etc., I'd probably make sure I turned off the forges before I put these down. But at this point, I actually wouldn't mind a screamer seeing me and calling in some zombies, because you might spawn a feral. And as you might have noticed, ferals are like the main source for magnums especially, but they can also drop a lot of other rare loot. So sometimes people later on literally just light a bunch of campfires or forges to lure screamers to a spot just to fight them and have them spawn ferals and kill the ferals. That should be okay for now. So what do we want to check? We want to be looking at Let's just head over that way first, since we don't know what's over in that way, like, at all. And we see sand, but that's probably just lake sand. And if anyone is thinking, man, if you've already looted the town, then was that tunnel just really a huge waste? Well, one, there's kind of the pointed question of, well, what else are you going to do at night to think about? Other problem is we get a lot of raw materials of stone from digging the tunnel, so that's nice for concrete and stuff. Final point, it still means that when I come back at night, if I make sure I am to that spot instead of that spot, I get to save, what? Well, from Pack to there's, I don't know, half a kilometer's distance. Might not seem a ton, but in some cases, it might mean that I can, you know, leave half an hour later effectively and still be safe. Especially if we create a whole network of these, and tunnel more in directions of interesting spots. Where did the pig go? There was just a pig here. I may have lost it entirely. Unlike the zombies. Okay, I don't see it. Annoying, but not worth taking the time to try to find. There will be more. That was weird. That's high. Thought the deer would keep moving. I expected it to keep moving and I was trying to lead it. That turned out to be a bad idea. Oh, don't tell me we're going to go through this again. The mini bike was right here. Right in this general vicinity. We pulled just off the road for it. Why do I do this to myself? It's definitely not this far down. But I don't think it's this far down. I swear the thing has freaking camouflage. Oh, I just had a bad feeling. What if... Oh, there it is. Peekaboo. Basically, don't do that. Park in a spot that's a lot more visible. I didn't expect to go chasing after quite as much. Warning, in the burned out zone, you will set yourself on fire if you cross over the things that set you on fire. Like you see, I dodged that one there, but they will light you on fire on the bike. Like that, right there. See? Whoa, 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 holy... What? How does that happen? That was a bad thing to do then, apparently. Seriously, like, fire does 20 damage total. How did I just die in 3 seconds from that? How does that work? How far away did I even die? I should be able to get there before nightfall at least. If anyone's watching this video and happens to have some idea how fire that normally does like 20 damage total burned through 150 HP in like 30 seconds, I would be very interested in knowing. Because that seemed like pretty much pure bullshit right there. And for the record, I've never heard of anyone talking about dying like that before. I've heard of people talking about getting lit on fire while driving their mini bikes a lot, but I've never heard of any of them complaining about dying in 3 seconds. So I figured it was the usual fire. You just take 1 damage a second for 20 seconds, and you know, you can put it out by getting into the water or using a bandage. Like, maybe somehow it bases the damage off how far you've gone, and thus being on like a mini bike makes it tick faster? I don't know. Calling that really weird would be an understatement. Oh, another potentially interesting thing I thought of that, in retrospect, is semi-obvious, but I didn't actually realize the pimps would allow it to be done. Because if you have feathers, and you try to scrap feathers, arrows, sorry, if you have arrows, you don't scrap them into feathers, you scrap them into, like, iron, or stone, I guess. So it's like, well, that presumably you can't break down the ammo for the limiting factors, my thought. Well, you can apparently melt bullets into the forge, and you get brass from it specifically. Which means, the reason that's relevant, / important, / useful, is it means that you can convert, like, pistol bullets into other bullets of your choice. Yes, I took longer lining up that shot than I really should have. I just was trying to make sure it wouldn't do any weird turns there, and its pattern was steady. If this is Overwatch, sure, I could take my Widow sniper shot, then let it charge, and I could have fired a second time by that point, but it's not Overwatch. Better in some ways, worse in others. And I'm not saying that's the way that in which this is worse or better. I'm intentionally not looting some stuff I come across here, so that when I come back and actually loot the area, I'm not mistaken about like where exactly I've been. It's clearer on that. I don't think, oh, I must have looted that section when I really haven't. Yeah, I knew about getting lit on fire before from this stuff because of people who have talked about that. They never mentioned anything about dying instantly, so I thought that was safe to demonstrate. Like, okay, I can take the health hit. I have a bunch of stuff available. Okay then. The mini bike's still at 92%. I'd test this for science and set myself on fire again, but I don't really want to do so at nearly nightfall. That's an underground bunker if you've never seen one. I'll hit that on the tour later on. Doggy. Bye, doggy. So is this like a natural bridge over the water, it looks like? Hang on, is this where we left from? No, it's the... Okay, so we went around the lake that way. Which probably means that, if we go get a quick look here, this sand is not actually as potentially promising as we might have thought. Because it's probably just a giant cliff down, basically. Trying to keep my crafting queue doing something. I'm probably going to run out of space there, so I'll have to fix that. Here we have the weirdest poppin' pills in existence. Yeah, come to our drive-thru, and while you're at it, you know, step out of your car as we prepare your prescription and have dinner with our family. I don't remember if I've talked about this before, but especially on multiplayer servers that are having lag problems. With a good engine, you actually can run the risk of going too fast and basically fall off the earth. Because the chunk in front of you, the section of land, does not actually load in time. Which is all kinds of awkward. But yes, I think I was saying something about before I was rudely interrupted by crazy amounts of fire damage. That you can apparently, I tested this, and not apparently, you definitely can melt down... I wish we had a blood draw kit. Getting that forged iron down to under 500, sorry. You can melt down the bullets one for one into other bullets. So you can melt down the 136 pistol rounds if we want, or SMG rounds if we want. You lose the gunpowder and the lead, but the brass is usually your limiter anyway. It's not really an issue in this game, and I'll probably try to show all of the guns at some point, but something you might find interesting. So we can make wrenches and we can make claw hammers, but for some reason we have a 501 wrench sitting around. I'm sure there was totally a reason for that. Presumably that was before we learned how to make wrenches, I'm guessing is what the actual answer is, but still a bit funny to think about. Well, this here was Sally. That wrench served me well all my years, and I just didn't want to get rid of her down the line. I just couldn't bear to part with Sally the wrench. We're going to need more clay. And you know what? We can do double iron in that forge. Iron is our limiter. By far, we have like 8,000 clay or something iron. Sorry, 12k clay. Hi, Screamer. What's up? Did she die that fast from the spikes? No, okay. Bye, Screamer. You can also, whoops, wrong forge. You can also melt things like the chest armors into the forge. Did we have any more gas available? Oh, we had another 1,000. Excellent. Let's take 500. That should be enough for tomorrow, I think. So here we actually need more clay. Let's even that up a little bit then. On one hand, crafting like iron armor feels like it's one of the slowest. I think that's because each individual item takes a while, and you need a lot of leather. But it only requires, I think, from another game, like 6 or so iron chests that you have to make at max level to get from 99 to 100. So if you count 3 leather plus 10 forged, that's 13 total. Math is how the game calculates it. Then you add on, then you multiply that by 678, and that would be the equivalent of like 15 clubs, if you will, or 16 clubs, between 15 and 16. Meanwhile, it actually requires like 80 wood clubs or something to go from 99 to 100 weaponsmithing. So it's definitely easier in that regard. I'm not complaining about that at all. Hopefully we'll... yeah, there we go. Did we get both pistols and shotguns up a bit? Nearly to 63 with shotguns, okay. Pistols we got up to 60, and we are apparently nearly to 61. Maybe we'll up rifles later. So construction tools, armor smithing, athletics, tailoring, all of those are main ways of still getting XP, plus science once we actually find oil shale, a desert area. So we have wasteland up there, and burned out area over there. So I'm probably going to try going more towards this plains area and exploring around there tomorrow. And if you're wondering, why aren't you using the forges for anything? For what? Armor smithing doesn't help. Athletics, no. Blade weapons, unless I'm destroying the forges, doesn't help. I suppose that is technically something I could do, not destroy the forges, but try to gain blade weapon skill here. Concrete would really not be an efficient use of that, though. What could we do? Let's try this and see what happens. It takes it down to 46. This is going to take a while, isn't it? What if I punch it? Do I do one or two? I think that's faster even punching it. The catch, really, is we need to find something that gets it closer to 1, or find a different block. I'd say maybe cobblestone, but we don't have any clay, so that's awkward. What does the pickaxe do? 84, 7. Oh, come on. So we are above the N, and we barely moved, but we did move a little. And we undoubtedly had that iron armor melt over here. What I should really do is just swap these. Or, no, that actually was better in a way. Here's why. Here's why. Upgrade it, whack it, and I screwed up by going to the knife too far and scrolling there. And repeat. 1, 2, 3. I have no idea if we'd ever get to the point of doing 3 entity damage, though. That might be a stretch. I don't really want to start another tunnel yet, not until I know where I'm going. So, you can watch me kill stuff with a knife. And be stupid enough to mess up the pattern like that. This really is not very efficient, just due to the lack of HP on the blocks, so... what can I make? The problem with concrete blocks... Oh, I thought of something. We have a bunch of concrete, right? Yeah. We can finish upgrading some of the stuff around here. More construction, let's go. Awkward, though, that I should have thought of that behind these. I didn't really think it would be an issue, and I don't expect it to really ever be an issue. But... Hi, Screamer. Armor in the main forge. Wasted some time there, I bet. Though, if they still haven't melted, maybe not. Looks like not, strictly speaking. If those had melted instantly, then that would be a sign that we had, but since they didn't melt instantly, it meant they were still recovering from melting the previous armor. So, did I have the top forge with armor too? No, okay, I put lead in that. Okay, clay, not lead. Yeah, we'll just melt these two in here as well. How about that? Combine those. I mean, concrete to 9,000 HP seems to be a nice thing to train the stone on, get 9,000 in one swing, and main problem is the drying time. So maybe that's something we just set up. Hi, Wandering Horde. So let's try that. And let's actually set up some concrete to destroy for that purpose. know what? No reason to leave this undone. We could also finish this boat, filling that out some other time if we want. We do have 88 construction tools, so we could use a bit more. Let's check on the armors, which are gone. Maybe I will do that while we're waiting at night. All those mine entrances we never bothered using. Alright, I suppose it should be a ladder in theory, right? But it was weird because you like see it updating a second later. I don't know if that's a Fraps is taxing it more thing or something else entirely, but either way, it's a bit weird. Oh, interesting. I think I actually had cleared that spot on the other side, right, when I was digging that little mine earlier. But ever since I figured out the hay bale thing, I'm not quite sure why we kept the buckshot here, I'll admit. Any second now. Any second now, thank you. We'll put that there. Put that there. I don't think we're ever going to actually use that other pathway down, so I can do that with a clear conscience, even though it blocks that other path. Or we'll set up ladders, who knows, but not the ramp. Alright, and onward to day 30 we go.